Good day, and welcome to the Impact Property Show. Guys, I hope you're doing well today. I hope you are ready for tonight's show. We have a lot to get through. We got news, we got updates, we got so many things taking place on tonight's show. So I'm looking forward to the show, and I hope you are too. First and foremost, let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Are you tuning in from London? Are you tuning in from further afield? Let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. It's with my great pleasure that I host tonight's show, because I know we've got so much on, which is going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be the show that you wanted to be on. And look, it's the 19th of December, guys. It's the 19th of December. So we're right up close to the festive period. We've got all of those things that, you know, people like in terms of Christmas, etc., right around the corner. So I hope you guys are actually looking forward to now. Let me get everything prepared for you guys so that you know the news we're going to go through tonight and every other thing. We are going to be having the phone line open tonight as well. So for those of you who are tuning into the show, you are going to be able to call in and ask any specific questions that you have in regards to your own property investing journey. So please be ready for that. Please be very, very ready for that. That's going to be absolutely another awesome part of tonight's show. Now, let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Don't forget to leave a comment and say hi as well. It'll be great to connect with you in terms of our community. This is why we do this. We're here to build a property community of investors who can work together, speak together, connect together, and do a lot more. Impact Properties, our YouTube channel, is the place where you actually get creative property investing on demand. So again, if you're new to the channel, feel free to write the word new, N-E-W, in the chat, and let us know that you're new. Let us know that this is your first time tuning into the Impact Show. And at the same time, if you are new, straight after this live stream, what you're going to be able to also do is go onto our channel and see all the numerous other videos that we have. And you can do that by going to impactproperties.co.uk/YouTube. Impactproperties.co.uk/YouTube. Now, before I go any further, let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear me clearly. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you guys are able to hear me. And without further ado, we will jump straight into our episode 36 of How to Invest in Property, our live Q&A. Guys, this is the show where you get your property questions answered. This is the show where we help you move forward and further faster in your property investing journey. So let me start, for those of you who may be new tuning into the show, by explaining to you guys how this show came around. How did we even end up here? What is the reason that we're actually here with you on tonight's show? And it's fairly simple, guys. I'm going to just break it down to you very, very simply. Okay. Now, a number of months back, when we had the first kind of inclinations and insights towards what we now understand to be a pandemic, what we now understand to be, the signs of, governments changing everything, etc., etc. What basically happened is I had a number of people who were coaching clients. I had a number of people who were students. I had a number of people who I would generally connect with in my property business who reached out to me and said, Samuel, you know what? They're not sure what to do. They're not sure how to maneuver. They're not sure what they should be doing in the current climate. For some of those people, they had tenants who were no longer paying their rent. For some of those people, they had landlords, in the case of rent to rents, for example, who were basically saying, oh, we're taking our properties back. And there were so many things taking place where people were losing momentum, losing zeal, losing understanding of what to do in their property investing journey. And as a direct byproduct, these people were reaching out to me and saying, Samuel, how can you help me? What can I do in my journey? How can I pivot, etc., etc., etc. And it was based on that, all of these people reaching out, that I spoke to my team and I said to the guys, look, guys, what can we do to continually help people in their property investing journey throughout this current climate? Like, we can obviously see this isn't the kind of climate anybody wants to be in. So what can we actually do to support the community in order to continue to move forward in their property investing journey? And it's interesting because as we actually started to talk about what we can do and how we could basically do it, the team came up with the idea that we could just make ourselves more available by periodically, regularly, routinely showing up on a live show. And that's what we decided to do. We decided to basically launch the Impact Property Show, where we can basically on a regular basis come and help you guys move forward in your property journey by basically supporting you to answer your property questions, and side by side with that, also giving you guys strategy. So we started off doing the strategy in the storm sessions. They are the earlier live streams we were doing on the channel, and then we transitioned that into how to invest in property live Q&A, because again, all of the questions that were coming out were questions surrounded and associated with the concept of how to actually invest in property. So again, if it's your first time here, feel free to write new in the chat and we'll use that to push forward. I can see in the chat we got Rex in the chat. Great to see you, Rex. Rex says first, you know, Rex, I'm sure this isn't your first, but great to see you anyway. And he says, hey Sam, hey Rex, hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a fantastic week, especially now that there's some new information coming down the governmental pipeline and the media pipeline about additional tiers in terms of tier 4 approaches to things in London and Kent. So I do hope that everything's going well with you. I hope that you have been able to settle and have things going the way you want them to go. Now, guys, as you all know, okay, property investing, I would just put it simply, is not for the faint-hearted. And what I'm going to be doing on tonight's show is I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the things that have actually been taking place, which we have to make sure that we are protecting ourselves from and we are safeguarding ourselves in the midst of, so we don't end up in a scenario or situation like many property investors are going to be and are actually finding themselves in the current climate, and also in the climate as things change. So guys, we're going to keep you up to date with all of that stuff. We're going to share with you guys what's going on in that regard, and also side by side with that, we're going to be giving you insights and strategy into how we are basically pivoting, circumventing, and making sure we basically get the best out of our current situation in our property field and game as well. So I'm looking forward to helping you guys on tonight's show, and I hope that you guys are looking forward to the support and also to engaging, you know, asking the questions that need to be asked in order for you guys to make sure that you win in the current climate as well. So we got a couple news articles for tonight's show. Also, we got a great update, which I think a lot of you are going to be interested in. This comes back to the show and what we're doing over here, because you guys have asked me to share certain information with you guys. And as a result, we've decided to put certain things in place so we could actually share with you and help you guys to move forward. So I'm going to be speaking to you guys a little bit about that in a short while also. So I hope you guys are actually ready to go on tonight's show. Let me even say this: if you're ready to go, write in the chat ready to go. Let me know in the chat that you are ready to go if you're ready to go, and with that we will use that to basically push forward onto tonight's show. So let me know in the chat, simply write in the words ready to go, and we'll use that to push forward on tonight's show, to get into the news, to get into all of the information which you guys, I hope, have been waiting for and waiting to see, so we can continually push forward on tonight's show. So let me pull up the first article that we're going to go through. We additionally had some pictures that I wanted to share with you guys as well. I don't know if the team have put the pictures in place for them to be able to be shared, but let's see if that's going to be possible, because it would be fantastic to be able to share these pictures and these photos with you guys, just to give you guys some insight into what we're going to be working with over the next couple of weeks and how we're going to be getting things done. So we mentioned on last week's show effectively that we were going to be creating a purpose-built studio for our property journey, for our Impact Property Show. And some of you basically mentioned that you were interested in supporting in various different ways. So that's something we're going to be talking about in a short while additionally. So before I get too wrapped into all of the things we got to do for tonight's show, let me start by saying to you guys, don't forget to leave a comment and say hi on the video. Side by side with that, don't forget to like, also comment and subscribe if at any point of this video you actually get value. That's just the name of the game. That's your way of giving back. You know, obviously all this information is given to you guys for free, but this way it allows the YouTube world and the algorithms of YouTube to understand that this is good content and it could be of benefit and help to other people. So let's start off with our disclaimer. All information provided and results given are exemplary. Each person's results may vary or differ. Results are based on consistent implementation of strategies, and we advise that you always seek legal and financial advice from a qualified professional. So with all that being said, let me just share a bit of appreciation. Guys, last week, and again I started speaking about this a moment ago, last week on episode 35, we spoke about building out a purpose-built studio for our impact show and in order to give you guys more value through means of the community. And we asked the question, how would you guys feel about being able to actually contribute to the studio build? And we had a number of people who said they would be interested. I believe KTR specifically was the person who said that she would be very interested in finding out ways that she could support specifically. And then after that, we expressed the way that one of the team members spoke about recently, which was through means of an Amazon wish list, where there's specific technology, specific equipment that we're going to be using inside of the studio on a daily basis in order to give you guys more value, where you guys can actually contribute to that. So first and foremost, what I want to say is for all of those interested in participating and contributing to our new studio build, a great big thank you. Okay, just the interest, just the desire, just the keenness and willingness for you guys to want to support the channel and want to support what we're doing is a massive thing. So we appreciate you for that. And to all of our subscribers, all of the comments that people have put out as well, again, on how to improve our show, all of this stuff, guys, with all of this stuff in mind, again, we value you, we appreciate you as a community, and we want to do so much more for you and with you guys. So that's why we actually put this content out. This is why we do what we do, and we're going to keep on doing it. So with all of that being said, we've now got a way for you guys to actually support us, and it's on the screen right now. So it says join in to support the studio build by going to this specific link. Okay, and this is created in order for you guys to actually support. Like I said, it's an Amazon wish list which basically has on it all of the equipment. I don't think the team's actually finished it as of yet, but I know it has a myriad of equipment that we're going to be using in order to move forward in our journey. So anyone who's interested, I'm going to throw that link also inside of the chat. You can use that link to contribute to our studio build by purchasing or gifting the channel any piece of equipment that's on that list. It will be sent straight over to the team, and the team will be able to use that to build out the studio at each and every different stage. So guys, I am pumped. I'm ready to go in light of all of that stuff. And I can see the comment also that just came in from Rex. Rex says, let's go, 100%. Let's go. Let's make it happen. Let's take this stuff to the next level. Let's continue to give you guys value on a level which is worthy of all of the input, insights, and the showing up that you guys do. And let's continue to make sure that we can add value at the level that we've always desired to add value to the community. Now, first bit of news. Okay, first bit of news I'm going to be sharing with you guys on tonight's show is slightly different. Okay, it's slightly different. I'm just going to be transparent with you guys about this. First bit of news is not necessarily about property per se. Okay, but I thought to myself, I have to share this with the community because so many people who know me in terms of the property field know me predominantly through means of the days that I spent as a host in the PIN world, in the property investors network world. So because of that, what I wanted to do is I just wanted to share with you guys some of the things that are going on right now in that world as well, just to give you a heads up. You may have heard of this already. I assume most of you haven't. But again, if you're up to date with the publications that I spoke about last week, then again, you may have heard about this because you should obviously be reading the latest property publications. And again, I've got two of them here. I'll just show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. When I speak about property publications, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, Property Investors News. Let me put it there so you guys can see it. The Property Investors News. These are the kind of, you know, materials that property investors are reading in order to know and keep up to date. And also Your Property Network. They're the two magazines that I generally receive on a regular basis and read through in order to keep up to date with what's taking place in the property scene. Now, if you're ready for this first news article, I'm going to jump straight into it. Okay, I'm going to jump straight into it. But this first news article was something that actually came out from one of those magazines. It actually came out from Property Investors News, okay, with my good friend Richard Bowser, who is the chief editor, and also my good friend Ranjit, who's over there, part of the team as well. And you should be able to see this right now. You should be able to have this on your screen. We've got the article on the screen right now. If you guys can see it, just let me know. Just say, I see. All right. So It says Property Investors News. They published this on the 17th, which was 2 days ago. It says Simon Zucchi's PIN group to be sold. I'll read through a few of the paragraphs before moving forward. It says the UK's largest property networking group, Property Investors Network, also known as PIN, has agreed to a US $15 million buyout by the Genius Group. The company, founded by Simon Zucchi in 2003, connects new and experienced property investors to share their knowledge and experience with monthly PIN meetings in 50 cities across the country. Obviously, many of you know I used to host the Watford PIN a number of years ago, and then 3 years ago I started to host the Canary Wharf PIN, which I ceased doing this year in July. It goes on to say Zucchi, who will remain CEO of the company following the acquisition, says with Property Investors Network having consolidated its market-leading position in the UK over nearly 2 decades, he looks forward to working with Roger Hamilton and the team at Genius Group to leverage this success within the global market to empower property entrepreneurs all over the world. So obviously you can see that there is a move here to go from a UK organization to a global organization. That is obviously the undertone written in the messaging here. Going forward, it says Roger James Hamilton, founder and CEO of Genius Group, says the COVID-19 crisis has resulted in record job losses and bankruptcies. However, they are seeing many small business owners and investors finding opportunity and growth in this crisis. They share PIN's mission to providing education and resources to business owners and investors at a time when people need it most. Last paragraph I'm going to read. Following the acquisition, Genius Group and Property Investors Network will expand its monthly PIN meetings to many of the 20,345 cities in which Genius Group has students. Okay, and that is because the Genius Group is global. If you know about Genius U, which is Genius University, and other things the Genius Group have, you understand exactly what that means. It goes on to say it will also provide financial literacy and property investing courses to students through Genius Group's secondary school and university programs, as well as the Genius U EdTech platform. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this? I don't know if you guys were able to see all of the article. Hopefully you were, and hopefully you're able to read along as well. Well, I guess you can, because I can see on the screen, you can see it all. So guys, let me know, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Okay, if you're part of the Property Investors Network, if you're part of if you're part of the PIN environment as a host, as a person who's just networking, utilizing PIN as a platform, if you're someone who's done some of the training with PIN, what are your thoughts? I'm very interested in your thoughts. If you're not watching this live and you're watching this on a replay, let us know your thoughts in the comments below this video. If you're watching it live, feel free to let us know your thoughts in the live chat. Guys, I'm interested in knowing what people's thoughts are in regards to this, because again, there's several factors about this which kind of had me thinking, oh, this is interesting. Part of it was the price, that PIN was basically, valued at in terms of that. That was something I found interesting. A few other things I found interesting as well, guys. But again, this is some of the stuff that takes place in this world that we live in, guys. So let me know your thoughts. I'm very interested in knowing what your thoughts are, and what other thoughts you have. All right, so guys, let me know in the chat. Now, whilst you guys are doing that, I'm going to do something else. Hopefully, if I can, I'm going to try and show you guys some of the pictures that we've got prepared. I think you guys would like this, and that's why I'm going to try and get it up for you. Okay, so these are some of the pictures I'm going to hopefully try and get you guys to see. I think you can see it already. It looks like it's already just come on the screen. If I can get it, this is going to be awesome. But I want to show you guys some of the pictures that have basically been prepared in regard to the new studio build, so you guys can see exactly what we're working with. You guys can see exactly what we're going to be having available to support what's taking place, available to support you guys as investors, to help you understand what we're going to be doing fairly soon. So guys, stay with me. Hopefully I can get this all done, and you guys will be able to get even more value from tonight's show by being able to see this stuff. But again, as we're waiting for that, guys, let me know in the chat, what's your thoughts about Pin, striking a deal at 15 mil. All right. What are your thoughts, guys? Okay. What are your thoughts? Interesting to hear thoughts, comments, etc. in that regard. Okay. And I think you guys definitely may have some thoughts to say. I assume you do. You might not have, but I assume you do. Okay. So let's see how we can discuss on that topic before we go into the other news for tonight's show. All right. So I think I've got this ready for you guys as well. So hopefully this will be a good addition to tonight's show. Like I said, just letting you guys see the pics of what's going to be taking place in the new studio. But let's see if we can get it all working for you guys. Boom. Okay, I think I've got it now. All right, good stuff. So if I can transition there. So this is one of the images of the actual space we're going to be working with. Okay, I'm going to try and get you a couple more images before the end of tonight's show, but this is just one of the images just to give you guys an insight into what we're actually going to be working with. And again, this is it's a space that needs everything. Okay, it needs everything. It needs, from the ground up, it's gonna need work. So I want you guys to know that we are taking you on a journey with us. This isn't, we're just gonna move into some space that's basically ready to go. This is exactly what you guys have asked for. And I know Yogesh, I believe Yogesh might be on the show tonight, but I know Yogesh was one of the people who asked in the previous live show, can you show us some project management, etc.? And guys, we're gonna have all of that for you. Trust me. Please believe we are going to have all of that for you. So me and the team have been talking about what we're going to put together, but we're talking about project management. We're talking about builders, how we get builders to basically value stuff. It's interesting because we had our first builder in the site today. That's where I've actually just come from. So I've been at work today working on the project to contribute to our channel and also to help you guys in terms of help you understand what's going on in the property space. So guys, again, this is off the ground. It's not something that we're just starting right now. It's something that we've definitely been looking at, and we want to see how we can help the community move forward by doing such things like this, by adding value to the community through means of showing you guys our projects, showing you how we're basically managing the projects, etc., etc. Now, here's another picture. You should be able to see a bit more of the space from that transition. And again, you can see exactly what's taking place in there. This is a place we're going to have to be working on the flooring. We're going to have to be working on the walls. We're going to have to be working on the electricity in there, the electric outlets, the sockets, etc. We're going to be working on lighting. We're going to be working on the ceiling. This is a place where we are going to be doing a whole bunch of work. And you should be able to see more of the space there as well. So guys, again, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the space. Let me know your thoughts on what we're doing. Let me know your thoughts on how we plan to move forward in order to help you guys in your property journey by showing you and giving you guys insight into the specific project also. Okay, guys, because this is why we do this. We do this to help you guys. We do this so that you guys can move forward. That's our intention. Okay, guys, this ain't just about us. This is about showing you guys behind the scenes, showing you guys what actually takes place in the property world. All right, guys, so these are just some of the pictures of the actual location and what we're basically going to be doing. We're going to be turning this place into a purpose-built YouTube studio and office in order for our team to be doing the editing, in order for our team to be doing recording, etc., etc., etc. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are as well. All right, now with all of that being said, it's time now for me to jump into our other news article for tonight's show. Another news article which is probably more relevant to all of us. Obviously the pin stuff wouldn't be relevant to every viewer, and then side by side with that, the pictures in terms of what we're going to be doing in the studio may not be relevant to every viewer, but what we're basically going to be talking about right now may be relevant to every single person who is effectively watching. So this article I pulled off is from Property Wire, and this is a very recently produced article, but very, very important and very, very relevant. Some of you should be able to see the headline already. I'll just load up the site and then hopefully you guys will be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. So this particular article basically says UK buy-to-let landlords admitting tax evasion underpaid an average of £4,500 last year. So what's interesting right now is many people may not realize this, but the government are on a tyrant approach to basically recouping funds right now. Okay, never, and again, guys, you may not agree, but you're gonna see this, in so many different ways. Okay, over the next couple of years, you're going to see the government find new ways to find new people who, for some reason, haven't paid some kind of payment they should have paid in order for the government to recuperate funds. Now, why is the government doing that? Well, one of the reasons they're doing that is because they've just given out a whole bunch of funds through means of bounce back loans through these banks, etc., etc. So again, guys, please be aware of this. So this article came out earlier on today, 19th of December, and it basically says UK buy-to-let landlords admitting tax evasion, underpaid an average of 4,000 last year. Now, I'm going to read the article because the headline doesn't necessarily give you the indication as to what the article really goes into. So I'll read through and you guys will get exactly what this is all talking about. It says buy-to-let landlords who have admitted to evading tax on their rental income underpaid an average of £4,480 in tax last year, which is up 72% from an average of £2,610 underpaid the year before. UHY Hacker Young, the National Accountancy Group, said it's likely that landlords who have evaded larger amounts of tax are now beginning to come forward as HMRC applies more pressure on the sector. Clive Gawthorpe, partner at UHY Hacker Young, said when landlords who are hiding income get a warning letter from HMRC, they realize that HMRC is closing in on them and they can no longer hide. HMRC is giving landlords a chance to confess, and in return, it will lessen the penalties imposed. This will be the most favorable outcome for landlords, and any with undisclosed income ought to take that opportunity before it's too late. If a landlord decides, to come forward under the campaign, it's better to do it with professional advice, particularly if their tax affairs are complex. This will be a key in helping avoid any mistakes and the possibility of further investigation by the HMRC. Last paragraph. HMRC has been running a let property campaign since 2013, which allows buy-to-let landlords and owners of holiday homes to voluntarily disclose unpaid tax. It's basically like an amnesty for those of you who don't know, who haven't heard about this. It goes on to say at the time of the launch, HMRC estimated that 1.5 million landlords were underpaying their tax or not paying it at all. Guys, this article is from the Property Wire. Again, if you guys want the links, just write the word link in the chat and I will send the link through. But guys, I want you to be aware of what's actually taking place in the property landscape. I want you to be mindful. I don't want you guys who watch this show, who are regulars on this show, to be the people caught unawares, okay? The HMRC have been running this effective amnesty, this tax amnesty, since 2013. That is 7 years long, okay? But why is it now being publicized so much? Why is it now being spoken about, on platforms such as, the Property Wire? And I can tell you the reason. It's a very simple reason. It's because now they're interested in recouping their funds. Now they're interested in pulling the chips off of the table, as they say in the casino language. So guys, I want you to be mindful of this, okay? The HMRC are looking for people who have underpaid tax in any way, shape or form, okay? And this is how you guys have to be mindful so you guys can take full advantage and not get caught out, okay? So like I've said already, again, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe and comment on this particular piece of news and also on any other stuff that we've basically discussed on the channel so far. Now, without further ado, we're roughly halfway through tonight's show. I'm going to open up the phone lines, hopefully, if I can. And that's going to give us the great opportunity to take some callers tonight and basically be able to help some people on their property journey to move further, faster as well. All right, so let's see if we can get that done. And that will be awesome if we can get any callers on for tonight's show. And also, I'm going to jump back into the chat in a moment as well. I know I've got quite a few people who have sent chat messages, so I'm looking forward to see what chat we've got as well. So let's jump into the chat. Excellent. All right, so just going through the chat, what have we got here? We got Yogesh who says hi Yogesh, great to have you on tonight's show, hope you're doing well. We've got Yogesh on the show. All right, so Rex asks a question. So Rex says, can you provide a rough breakdown of the upfront cost to purchase and convert a typical 3-bed house, roughly say 450k, into a 5-6 bed HMO with loft conversion and extension? Okay, that's interesting. Now, what I would say to you, Rex, is obviously 450k gives me an indication of the property price as standard. However, that doesn't give me an indication of the location in the UK. And the problem with that is a lot of trades are location based. So what I mean by that is, if you are up north in the northern cities of the UK, a lot of the time you pay a lot less for your labor, and as a result those laborers can also get materials for cheaper as well, even though they're the exact same materials you may be using in London or in, you know, cities down in the southeast. So what I'd say, Rex, is a real key component of that, turning a 3-bedroom house into a 5-6 bedroom house using a loft conversion and also an extension, is really getting someone who's a local person. So for example, in the property where we're doing the renovation in order to do the YouTube studio, we're actually using local tradesmen. Okay, so the tradesman who came today is local to that location. Reason being is because we know that we're going to get a better price from them tradesmen than the tradesmen that we usually use who are based in other more affluent areas. So again, guys, you know, for you, Rex, that's something to think about. What location are you in? That's the first thing. Second thing I'll say is, can you find tradesmen, and not just one? Don't just go for the first tradesman. Look into maybe getting 2 or 3 tradesmen to give you a quote about, you know, doing a loft conversion, a quote around doing that extension. Typically, one thing to think about which helps you is, if you think about how much it costs to build a conservatory, and then you obviously, sometimes in many cases, depending on where you are in the country, you might have to double that. That's what you're looking at in terms of building out the extension. Okay, and the reason why is because conservatories many times are kind of like flat pack models. So because of that, they can really be constructed fairly quickly, whereas if you're building out an extension, although they can also be done quickly with the right team and the right infrastructure and plan, however, generally and technically what you'd find is loft extensions and additional extensions to a house, loft conversions and additional extensions to the house can be done fairly quickly. However, it's going to be based on the location that you're in. So that's what I would say to you, Rex. Definitely look into seeing if you can find someone who's local to your area. Okay, someone who's in your area, who can work with you, who can speak to you about, you know, what specifically you're looking for in order to help you move forward with that. So hopefully, Rex, that will be helpful for you. Phone lines are open now, officially, guys, so feel free to call in if you have any questions. You can ask your questions by calling 0330-606-0403, and the access code is also on the screen on the ticker under there. Again, is 0330-606-0403. You can call in with any of your questions and we will go through and answer them. So like I said, hopefully that answers your question, Rex. Let us know in the chat how many stars you give for that answer. 5 stars, 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star. But again, Rex, the real key for you is understanding the locality. When you're doing any project in an area, it's that specific area that you want to uniquely look at in order for you to find out, okay, you know, what's the kind of labor cost for, you know, my carpenters? What's the kind of labor cost for my plumbers? What are the kind of labor costs for my sparkies, which means electricians or electric workers? So again, guys, these are the things you need to think about. What is kind of the day rates? Not only are the day rates for plastering, but building, you know, builders, etc. After you get those day rates, you then have to ask yourself, do you want to kind of manage it yourself, project manage each and every component yourself? If you do project manage each and every component yourself, obviously I'm sure you probably already are aware, that's going to increase your stress levels. However, one of the good things about hiring and doing things yourself, you know what's been done and you know to what standard it's been done because you're overseeing it. Okay, another thing you can do is you can hire in a GC, a general contractor, which is what many people do. Many people get one, you know, builder, which they might call the foreman, you know, or the GC. What the moment they get the general contractor, they ask that general contractor to bring in his tradesmen. So he brings in the plumbers, he brings in the electricians, he brings in every single person, the carpenters, etc., and he gets the job done on your behalf. So you've got to make that decision. What are you looking for? Are you looking for one person who's going to manage it all for you, or are you looking for multiple people who can help you in that regard? So Rex, thank you for that question. Fantastic question. And like I said, let us know in the chat what your specific rating of that answer was. 5 star, 4 star, 3 star, 2 star, 1 star, or even no stars. And side by side with that, if you got value, Rex, feel free to hit the like button as well. All right, so Rex has another question here. And how much could one pull out in order to recycle and go again? All right, that's a great question. Now, it's a bit of a tricky one, again, Rex. And the reason why that question is tricky is because how much money you can refinance is a direct correlation with the valuation that's given on a property. So I'll give you a very simple example to help you. If you buy a property at £100,000, okay, just making the numbers easy by using rounded numbers. If you buy a property at £100,000 and you spend an additional £30,000 in order to, let's say, build out, some kind of value add. So let's say you convert a garage, let's say you build out an extension out of the back. You've now spent roughly 130,000. Now, obviously, we're omitting fees, we're omitting tax, all of those things, which will be additional costs on top. But let's assume you've put 130 into a particular property project. The next thing that will happen is when you go for your revaluation, if you want to refinance and pull some funds out, when you go for your revaluation, they are going to give you the new market value. So let's assume, okay, there's just assumptions, rough numbers, just to do things easily. Let's assume the new value of that house is £200,000, okay? So the lender or the surveyor looks at the property and says, you know what, now with the amendments you've made, the property is actually worth £200,000. What would then happen, and I'm assuming that you're doing this as an investor, I'm assuming that this is a buy-to-let property, okay? So assuming that you're doing this as an investor, assuming this is a buy-to-let property, what would then happen if you're assuming it's a buy-to-let property and you're doing it as an investor is you will then be able to refinance to 75% of the purchase price or 75% of the value of the property, okay? So what does that mean specifically? What does that mean in layman's terms, okay? So let's say you buy a house for 100,000. Let's say you've added value by spending 30,000 on garage conversions, extensions, etc. You've done things to increase the value of that property. You're all in for 130 minus tax, borrowing fees, etc. Now you go to refinance and they give you a valuation of 200,000. The moment they give you that valuation of 200,000, if you refinance the property at the maximum loan to value, which is, it's not the maximum because some people do 80% loan to value, 85, but at the maximum loan to value if you're a portfolio landlord, all right? And the reason I say that is because as of 2 years ago, the portfolio landlord lending criteria changed. If you own 4 or more properties, you have to have a 75% loan to value across your whole portfolio. So let's just assume, again, that might be more technical. If you want to go down that more technical route and get more insights in that, Rex, feel free to reach out to me and my team. We can get you on a coaching call or something like that to help you really, understand all of the things I'm talking about. But let's say you get the property valued now at a new value of £200,000 at a 75% loan to value, which is considered or deemed safe by most lenders. You'd be able to refinance out £150,000. Okay, so £150,000 is 75% of the £200,000 new valuation. Now, obviously, what you have to bear in mind is this: when you take out that £150,000, the first thing you have to do is pay back, obviously, your existing mortgage. So on the £100,000 house, if you took a 75% loan to value on that house when you bought it, you would have a mortgage of roughly £75,000 and you would have had a deposit of roughly £25,000. So the £75,000 mortgage you'd have to pay back straight away. After you pay back that mortgage, obviously from 150k, you've paid back a mortgage of 75. You've then got a remaining 75. Obviously 25 of that 75 remaining was your original deposit, which you've kind of given yourself back through means of the debt you've now taken out. And then obviously the additional fees. So roughly you'll be left with an amount of money which you can now use to invest and go again. All right. So hopefully that helps you, Rex, in terms of understanding the framework of how it all works in terms of recycling your cash, using property in order to move forward and buy more property and do more deals. Okay. So Rex says he's in East London, which is great because I do a lot of deals in East London. If you're in East London, again, you're going to get different quotes from different builders, depending on standard and finish as well. One of the builders I use, very, very expensive, just going to be honest, but their finish is immaculate. For them, if we're looking at a very, very good extension at the back of the house, we might be looking at something from as low as 21k to roughly maybe 36, something like that. You're looking in between the 20 to 35 region. I'd say that. in terms of a rear extension. Again, it depends on how far you're going. Are you going 5 meters, 3 meters? Are you going past what's permitted, or are you keeping to what's permitted? Side by side with that as well is if you're doing a loft conversion. For a loft conversion, depending on how big you're going, again, you might be looking in the 30 region or maybe more. Okay, and again, this all depends. Again, don't quote me on it. I'm not a builder, but side by side with that, it all depends on the fixtures, the fittings, the framework of the house. If you've got a 2-bedroom house, you're turning into a 3-bedroom house, then again, you may be spending more because of the rejig of the staircase, etc., etc. But in terms of the question you asked, Rex, I know you said specifically it's a 3-bedroom house and you want to go to a 5-6-bedroom house. So I'm assuming you're trying to put 2 bedrooms up in the loft and then potentially push out the rear extension to be your communal areas, your kitchen, your lounge, and then use the existing lounge and existing second lounge as bedrooms as well to make the 6 across the whole house framework, I assume. Okay, these are all assumptions, but going based on that, I would say you want to be looking at roughly 20 to 35 in the garden, again depending on the builders you've got, depending on the finish you've got. And in terms of the loft, you're looking anything from 30 to as high as 60, maybe even more, depending on the location, depending on the builders, depending on the materials that are going to be used. So again, hopefully that will help you. The question I would say to you, Rex, again, hopefully this really helps you more than even my answer already. The question I'd say to you is really think about where you are going to add value, which is going to recompense and pay you back infinitely. So for example, what many people do is they spend £1 on something in the house, which is only going to give them their £1 back. And what you want to do is you want to spend £1 on something in a property, which is going to give you at least £3 back. Okay. So if you build out a loft conversion, let's say you spend 30,000 on that loft conversion, and let's say the house is currently at 450k. After you spend that 30,000, you want that 30,000 to triple the value of the 30,000 you've put in. So that 30 needs to now become 90 by the end of that loft conversion. So again, 450, add the 90, you're now looking at a value of 540. Okay, and that's an ideal scenario, because what that means is every pound you've spent on adding value, you've actually tripled that pound in terms of your return on investment as it's gone into that bricks and mortar. And the same works for the extension as well. Let's say in the rear extension you decided to spend 25,000, you want that to triple and add 75,000 in terms of value to the house. Now, does that happen all the time? No, not necessarily, but you want to be looking in the areas where you can make that happen, and that's very easy to do. You do some comparables. If you haven't seen our video where we speak about comparables done properly, you can go watch that on our channel. But again, that will really help you, because what you're doing by that is you're saying, well, look, I've seen this house in the area. It's a 5-bedroom house with a rear extension and a loft conversion, and these sell for 610 every single day. So if that sells for 610 every single day, and you've got a 3-bedroom house, and you know by adding 25,000 in the garden on an extension and by paying an additional 30 up in the loft, that 55 investment would now turn into, let's say 70 and 90, that's 160. That will turn to 160k of additional value. Then go for it. That's where you want to be. Okay, because if you know you're going to get the return, then there's a point in putting in the revenue, the funds. If you don't know if you're going to get a return, that's when you start asking yourself the questions: is there really a point in me actually putting this in? All right, so guys, that's something that I would say to you to think about. Rex has also come back on that. Rex has said thanks, Samuel, and additionally he said 4 stars and liked. Most welcome, Rex. This is what we do. So you're here to help you, here to push the channel forward. Feel free to share this video if you think there's other people you know who are going to get value from this. Now guys, I just want to let you know about this. This is our 7 best property books for your property investing success. Rex and anyone else who's watching this, and those of you who jump on who are not watching this live, feel free to go get this resource. This resource is going to be a game changer for your property investing journey. Now, for many people in the property field, we get into this, sometimes haphazardly, sometimes accidentally. I know so many accidental landlords, people who have just stumbled across renting property out or doing property. Now, the key is to actually sharpen your tools, okay? Whether you came into property as an accidental landlord, whether you came into property as a beginner knowing, look, I want to focus on this, I want to make money, I want to make it make sense. It doesn't matter how you started your journey, whether you're even a very experienced investor. Some of the most experienced investors I know still take a lot of value from this specific resource. So I want to encourage you to go grab this resource absolutely free. This is the 7 best books for your property investing success. It is going to break down to you 7 books which are going to help you really move forward in your property investing journey, regardless of the stage, whether you're beginner or experienced. And one of the things that's really powerful about these books is probably 60% of the books on this, they actually have the links in there for you to go and get those books for free, whether they be audio, whether they be Kindle, etc. So you can get a number of these books absolutely for free. In the audio field, that's with a 30-day free trial of Audible. And then obviously you can cancel the subscription before the end of the 30 days, but you actually still keep the book. So again, guys, this is about giving you guys value. Utilize this, take advantage of this. 7 best books for your property investing success. These are the kind of things you want to be reading over this festive period so you can really take advantage of what's going on in the future. In 2021, you want to be winning when it comes to property, and the best way for you to win is actually to make sure that you're doing what you need to do. Now, side by side to all of what I've just said, if you haven't participated, if you haven't been on one of our masterclasses where we break down how you can basically win in the current property environment, what I want to do is encourage you to do that, and I want you to go and register for Monday's masterclass. Monday coming up, Monday the 21st, we have a masterclass that's taking place at 8 p.m. That specific masterclass, I'm going to send a link in the chat. That specific masterclass is going to be breaking down how to take advantage in this current property investing climate and to win. With all of the things that are taking place, with the lockdowns, with everything that's changing, now is the time. I strongly and firmly believe that. And because of that, that masterclass is going to break down for you how you can take advantage in this current property climate and still win. So I want you guys to take full advantage of that. I want you guys to jump into that. I want you guys to be on the masterclass on Monday and get the value so you can use that to move forward in your property investing journey. And you just have to go to impactproperties.co.uk/masterclass in order to register and get onto the masterclass for Monday. So guys, please don't delay. Register as soon as possible and make sure you take full advantage of that. Now, guys, let me know if there's any other questions you have in the chat. Let me have a quick look through the chat now. Let me know if there are any other questions you guys have in the chat so that I can answer your questions before we wrap up for tonight's show. Scouring through the questions really quickly. Okay, I don't seem to see any other questions in the chat. So guys, what I want to do is let you guys know about a few things that are taking place. We recently launched a video which is doing really, really well. A lot of people are getting value out of that video. That video is called How to Invest in Property. Now, I didn't put up the actual card for that video here, but guys, if you haven't seen this video already, what comes first, property deals or investors, go and watch that video the minute you leave this channel, guys. That video is a game changer to help you really prepare and move forward in your property investing journey. Now, side by side with that video right there, in terms of what comes first, property investors or deals, I additionally want you to go and find that video specifically how to invest in property. Okay, it's roughly an 8-minute video. That video is going to give you some key insights which many people in the property field are not talking about right now. And this is the reason I'm encouraging every single person who's connected with me in any way, shape or form to go and watch that video, understand how I break down the numbers in that video, understand exactly what's taking place in the current climate, so you can use that video to prepare for 2021. Guys, we are in December. We are in the last month of 2020. And 2021 is going to look exactly how you make it look. So the reality is, by taking insights, knowledge, understanding, wisdom, and utilizing that, rehashing that, and then implementing that into the journey ahead, you are going to be able to win. So guys, I want to encourage you to definitely go and do that. So without further ado, go watch this video. What comes first, property investors or deals? Additionally, go watch the video how to invest in property on our channel as well. And then last but not least, go watch one of our previous live shows where we break down strategy in a storm. Without further ado, I hope and pray that I've answered all of your questions. I'm looking forward to some of you guys supporting us through means of our studio build. I am still not sure if we're going to be having a Boxing Day show, because you guys haven't told me. You guys haven't said to me Boxing Day show from last week. So I have no idea if you guys want us to actually show up next week, Saturday, for the Boxing Day show. But again, email us, let us know, reach out to us, let us know if we should have a Boxing Day show so we can add you guys even more value. Without further ado, guys, I am signing off. I'm Samuel I Can Win, and as I usually say, happy investing. Have a great evening.